And already, beloveds, all of the great radiant ones have made their presence known. And indeed, I want to call these specifically the Ascended Masters, the Great White Brotherhood, Sisterhood, known by many names. But what is present here are those Ascended Masters who have chosen to be very much still connected and uplifting the earth and all of her life. So we breathe the sacred in breath and out breath as their presence is here and moving into this sacred and holy rhythm through this sacred breath. Each and every sacred inhalation and exhalation becomes into a divine, synchronistic resonance with the most radiant ones. For all of creation has its in-breath and out-breath as the great cosmic in-breath and out-breath. And so as above, so below as above. On all the various planes of manifestation and expressions of the divine, this one in-breath and out-breath permeates all creation on all levels and in all expressions of the one. So it is this that we use, the sacred in-breath and out-breath, our connection to all creation and to the source of all that is. And as such, on the multiple frequencies and vibrations of various planes and expressions of the divine, the most radiant ones come close. And as they do come close, all within their own specialty, their own frequency, combined into this one harmonic moment to integrate and blend with the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. And so there is a great alchemy taking place through the sacred breath. And as you can see, a blending of colors is the closest description of what this is. Each coming from their own color ray, including ours as the children of light upon the earth. For we too vibrate these rays and these colors, where our dominant gifts may be in any moment in time. What our frequencies are to focus on in terms of our assignments, our promises, our missions, our purpose. And as we do this, so too, the great ascended realm as well. Specifically, the frequency of this great brotherhood, sisterhood, known by many names, but referred to as the radiant ones. And so there is this sense, first of all, in the stirring of the heart of gratefulness. And as this sense of gratefulness within the heart of the children of light upon the earth, connected now in this eternal moment through the heart and the mind. And it is through the heart and the mind that the most radiant ones come and blend their presence through the sacred in-breath and out-breath. And each and holy sacred in-breath and out-breath anchors this blending, this weaving, this sacred communion from indeed their radiance in the upper planes, stepping down to meet us as we step up So we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath for this beautiful communion to take place. We consciously breathe with this intention. And as we breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, we begin to feel, sense, and know as we expand our consciousness, indeed our energetic field, as if the nervous system within the physical body moves and radiates outside of the physical body. And what shows is as a great tree of life. And our physical body and the antakarana, the tube of light, that connects us to the source of all that is, begins to widen as the pure light of the Holy Spirit moves in, clearing all debris and distortions. And through the sacred in-breath and out-breath, there is this intermingling. There is this new alchemy being created on the most radiant ones, the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten in this eternal now moment. And using the symbol of the tree, the most magnificent tree, strong and sturdy, its trunk beautiful and anchored to the earth, but its branches reaches out into the higher realms, into the higher light realms, into the higher frequencies, reaching out to the plane of the most radiant ones. And so there is this communion of heaven and earth, and this direct connection to the most radiant ones. And you draw onto that ray, that ascended master that you have worked with for so long, as well as others. But there's always one or two that come forward for you in this moment. And so that one, along with the others, hold this resonant field individually for you as well as for the collective. And we are guided to breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath and to come into our perfect balance and our anchored peace. So as if drawing the nutrients of this great light, blessing, and grace as the roots deep within the earth draw its nutrients, brings it up the trunk and out into new branches and new leaves, so too this nectar that these great ascended ones and radiant ones, an infusion of the sacred breath, the prana, the chi, intensified and radiant as they blend their frequency of loving light, supportive and loving, understanding and nurturing. So we feel that we can relax into their loving embrace, held with so much love, understanding, patience, and upliftment. For indeed, each and every one, and specifically those that stay close to you, understand your journey. They are sympathetic to the journey, understanding of your journey, and supportive of the journey. And as you begin to relax more into the love that they are sending, each individual and the collective, as the Holy Spirit light of frequencies moves within the Antakarana, from the highest source down into the many planes, vibrations, and frequencies, moving into the higher self of ourselves, collecting the wisdom, the memory, the understanding, and the wisdom, moving from the highest planes into the physical plane, in our ethereal bodies, into the higher consciousness as we rise to be able to receive this interconnection. And just as a great tree that brings in the light of the sun deep into the great alchemy of photosynthesis and into its roots, and the roots of the nutrients of the sacred earth up to the tree, there is this two-way channel that has taken place here right now. As you rise in your vibration through the sacred in-breath and out-breath, and the openness and love of the communion of the most radiant ones, held indeed in frequency by your higher self. And this frequency, as you open your channel consciously, purposefully, in this divine grace, in divine union and love, the frequencies of this ascended realm moves its loving codes and light, feeding the Antakarana, moving through the very nervous system as in a tree, into the branches and into the roots. And so we become this column of a great alchemy of ascending and descending light, creating the one source light. And as you can see the tree of life, as you have the two outer pillars, but it is the inner pillar, the middle pillar, that is being created to hold the balance of the outer pillars. As you can see this in your spiritual eye, that the middle pillar being created by the ascending and descending forces, moving in and through your body, holding the frequency of this alchemy, using the sacred temple of the body, connecting heaven and earth in a great exchange, in a great alchemy, creating balance and anchored peace. And as you draw up the life force, the nutrients of the sacred earth, and receive the sunlight, the radiant light of the Holy Spirit moving in and through you, deep into the roots, through your nervous system, into the middle of the sacred earth. Through her crystal core, she moves and you source up her dreams, her goals and aspirations, and all that she is into the ever-reaching branches and leaves towards the sun of the higher realms. And each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath continues to intensify and radiate, illuminate, and expand this exchange. Each and every inhalation and exhalation of the biology amplifies, widens, and creates a new portal, a new frequency, a new exchange of heaven and earth flowing through the nervous system of the sacred Adam Kadmon that holds the frequency of the tree of life. And anchored as a great tree deep into the heart of Mother Earth, the opportunity to reach the sun behind the sun behind the sun and draw that light, draw those codes, draw in the illumination and bring it through you, in you, around you. For you are this great tree of life. You move beyond the gravitational pull of the sacred earth. You are magnificent and able to reach the highest suns. And as you do, you allow that energy, that light, that frequency to intermingle with the sacred codes that you hold from the sacred earth. Even as your own codes, memories, promises, partnerships in this moment, in this time of highest service becomes more clear, more anchored, and more expanded. And so you continue to hold this great exchange of cosmic memory as well as cosmic purpose, as well as bringing in and expanding the higher frequencies of light as the very earth herself begins to rise. And as she rises in this great exchange of heaven and earth, they cannot be held only by her, but must radiate out into the celestial bodies of Helios Vesta, the very sacred solar system is now incorporated into this exchange of the highest realms, moving into the physical realms held by the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten. And as great sentinels, great oak trees that tend to grow deep in the roots and high into the branches of infinity, we continue to breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath and hold this alchemy as it continues to move and expand through each and every single breath. The children of light breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath that the great radiant ones, bringing in that higher chi, that higher prana, that higher frequency to be able to reach the highest stratosphere frequencies, vibrations of the upper realms, holding the great Shambhala realms, crystalline realms, the paradise realms, intermingling into the great and beautiful tree of life, co-created by the children of light, upon the earth who have not forgotten, with their personal radiant guides and masters, a collaborative endeavor in a remembering that the children of light upon the earth who have not forgotten are very much part of the spiritual hierarchy. And as their charge is to remember who they are, come into their highest alignment and raise the vibrations within themselves there too. They raise the vibrations of the sacred earth, being able to make connections now more than ever. There is indeed the speeding up, a momentum that has been created from the years and years and years, the dedication to be on the path. And a great shift is upon the horizon. That shift is now coming into vision. And so, with full consciousness and awareness, the children of light upon the earth consciously regain cosmic memory, see more clearly the expanded family of light, the great Amishadai, their personal, radiant ones, the very ones that have always been there, and expanding and holding higher levels, plateaus of which you are involved. In a remembering of the many councils that you are on, in the remembering of the other aspects of yourselves that work together in this moment with who and what you are. And so as a tree branches upwards and it branches horizontally, more knowledge and understanding is taking place. We say to you, beloveds, as the most radiant ones, hold this position to choose to remember your dreams as you now travel through these branches into the upper realms, the ascended realms, into the frequency of the realms where we habitate, where we vibrate. And therefore, it is that much easier and accessible to communicate, to interchange, and to bring one collective that unites us all, the great divine plan. And now, the thought of the return has come. And as such, the Ascended Masters begin to draw then their electromagnetic field. However, the blending frequency will remain. Continue during sleep and your travels to that ascended realm. But we now know to draw in our electromagnetic field with the intention to be back awake and alert, slowly but surely. We will intend to be back and awake and alert on the count of 3. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3. We are back, we are awake, and we are alert.